Alright guys, I thought I'd go for one of those shots where it looked like I was busy and then I'd turn around to the camera and talk about it. I'm actually not. So, this week I want to ask you the question, do you feel guilty if you miss a session? Now the reason why I ask this is because when I'm online checking my athletes' training peaks, I will often see red sessions, or I'll see comments before the sessions trying to explain as to why they have not done the session. Now the reason that I asked that question is because I did an Instagram post earlier on the week and I tried to explain that I coach lots of professional individuals. Now these people have families, they've got jobs, they've got to commute, and do you know what? No matter how hard you try and plan it, every now and a while something is going to get in the way. Now that person should not be feeling guilty for missing that session. That person should not be resenting whatever got in the way for missing that session. Now as a coach, I'm here to tell you it's okay once in a while to miss a session or two, just as long as you don't make a habit of it. So one of the values which I will always hold as a coach is that family should always come first. Now that's whether you're an amateur or an elite, family always comes first, and the time your training gets in the way of family and you start resenting family, we know we've got a problem. So therefore always make sure, no matter what, they always come first. Now as a single dad, time with my girls is the most valuable thing in my life, therefore that will always come first before my training. So that's one thing we've always got to make sure. So let me just try and explain why it is okay to miss the odd session and why you should not be feeling guilty. So to do that, perhaps I should maybe make a mock athlete as if we was going to start from scratch with that person, okay? So I'm going to explain, let's say for instance someone's just said, I want to start working with you, Craig, and let's start as of Monday. So let's just kind of go through how I will figure out how many hours a week they can train, what is a possibility within their lifestyle, is their goals realistic, and can we make those goals happen? So there's a number of ways we can do this, but fundamentally we need to figure out how many hours a week they can train. So by using my blackboard, we know there's 24 hours in a day times 7 days, that's 168 hours to start. Now we need to start whittling that down for what they do on a day-to-day basis. Now this person works Monday to Friday, 40 hours. Their commuting is 30 minutes each way, so there's 5 hours across the week. Each night they like to sleep 8 hours. We're kind of allowed 2 hours per day to prepare and eat food. They like to spend at least a couple of hours each evening with their partner. And then if we kind of allow 2 hours per day for housework, getting dressed, and any other bits and pieces around the home. Now that leaves us with around 25 hours. Now that would be fantastic if we could train 25 hours per week, but they're not going to be able to. It wouldn't be realistic because they're not going to be able to find time to maybe socialise, go and get their hair cut, go out for a couple of beers, perhaps, go and do the food shopping, all these other little things that we've got to do on a weekly basis. So let's say for instance, let's just knock 10 hours off for that. That will leave us 15 hours per week. So let's say, okay, this person wants to do an Ironman, we can then train 15 hours per week, which is great on paper. However, when we look at the England team throughout the years, on paper they should be winning every single World and European Cup. Look where that got them. So as a coach using Training Peaks, I tend to use the algorithm set out by the creators. So as an Ironman, for instance, I need to be planning anywhere from 850 to 1700 training stress score points per week. So that's basically a minimum of 15 hours right up through to 30. So if I was to create maybe week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, starting at around 900 TSS points, and then come week 3 trying to accumulate something like 1700 TSS points, hypothetically we should be in a training load. Now, to be honest with you, I actually engineered the TSS points on the training plan just to give you an example how we have the training load go from positive numbers through to negative numbers on the form chart, where I want to take you to minus 29, minus 30, which is the fine line between fit and Therefore, as far as I'm concerned as a coach, on paper, we have enough training to get you fit for your event. Now, there's a few things we can do to help though. So one thing that I like to promote to my athletes is a no barrier approach. Now, what does a no barrier approach mean? Well, it basically means create no barriers for your life. So, for instance, I know I'm at Sheffield tomorrow running a clinic, and if I don't have any food with me, I have created a barrier, because that then means that I'm going to have to make some either poor food choices by going to the local cafe or a petrol station or something like Tesco's at home and grabbing a meal deal. A, it's expensive, but B, it will probably be high in calories, high in fat, and a poor food choice. So by me creating my meals and my snacks, it makes sure that I have healthy food, I save money, and that I know that everything is planned. Simple as that. So another thing that you can do in a no barrier approach is actually get your bags ready the night before. So let's say, for instance, if I've got to drive to Sheffield, do my day's clinic, and I plan to go for a swim on the drive home. Now usually I get done around 2 o'clock. That means I can be at the pool for around 3 o'clock, which will then give me an hour to get my swim done before the swimming lessons start at 4 o'clock and ends at 7 o'clock. Now, if I've got to come home to get my kit bag, that then means I've missed that window of opportunity to get my swim done, which then means I'm going to have to then wait until 7 o'clock after the swimming lessons are finished. So what happens when you plan to go to the pool on the way home and you then hit city centre traffic, which has now cost you an extra half an hour? Has David Goggins got a motivational speech to get you out of that one? I don't think so. Oh, come on, for f***ing! Let's be honest, most people, including myself, if I had to come home and then wait 3 hours, I ain't going back out the door, because I'll end up getting sat down, getting caught up on the sport, or watching a bit of TV, or doing a little bit of coaching. Therefore, that session's not getting done. So, it's really, really good to try and keep things as smooth as possible. Now, with the best one in the world, we can predict everything we want around our training schedule. But like today, for instance, I was supposed to be going for a 5-hour ride. Now, it is absolutely pissing it down, and it has done for pretty much most of July, and we're now in the beginning of August. Now, if you think I'm going to go outside for 5 hours and risk getting a flu, getting a cold, and then risk having to take 4 or 5 days off to recover, that's going to be more detrimental of the bigger picture. So what I have done is bring one of my swims forward, and I'm just going to do a 90-minute turbo, and then hopefully pick that up later in the week. So if I was to go back to manipulating the training peak session and hypothetically trying to simulate a couple of missed sessions throughout the week, instead of being negative 29 by the end of week 3 and it was something like negative 20, it doesn't matter, because you are still in a training load. Yes, you're not going to get there as quick as we thought and as fit as humanly possible. However, you're still going to be fit enough to get through the event, and all that stress was not needed whatsoever. So, what I'm trying to say to you is it's okay to miss the odd session, and I hope this helps, because at the end of the day, it's supposed to be a little bit of fun. See you next time.